Hello and welcome back to Lawbringer in Bannerlord, and we are now in Crusade territory. I've actually been attempting to fight a bunch of steppe bandits in the area, but unfortunately they are, as you might expect, they are much too fast for us. Let's just say that. That is literally all I have to say about it. It is the worst feeling in the world to be able to, basically to be unable to catch these guys. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to escort this this fellow's merchant caravan, and then after that, after the significant amounts of XP, I was going to say HP, well yeah, HP as well, but you know, after the significant amounts of XP that we're going to be getting from this, hopefully my forces will be full in, well, every regard. Hopefully they're going to be relatively high tier, and hopefully we're going to be generally doing pretty well in terms of cash. And you can see here I've just dipped below 10,000. I did do one additional tournament off screen, and we might be doing another one before we actually start attacking vassals. I've taken a look at some of the vassals in the area as well. I'm actually going to be going into these fights manually as well, just for maximum experience gain. But yeah, I've taken a look at some of the vassals in the area, and they are much more powerful than I am at the moment in terms of raw combat strength. I do not think I will be able to beat them, but with strategy and a little bit of luck, or a lot of luck, then we might be able to make it work. It's going to be a little bit touch and go, though. A little bit touch and go. Oh, yes. So I should probably just talk about some of the comments that I've seen, and thank you very much for all of your suggestions. I really appreciate them. They really do give me a lot of really nice ideas and a lot of things that could potentially be different about the series. Now, one of them that I would like to touch upon quickly in this battle is changing their thrown weapons to crossbows. Okay, so here's the main reason why I didn't want to use crossbows. Probably because of the previous series, because we did create custom units that had a primary ranged function, and they used regular bows. Obviously, they're using regular bows, so, you know. But here's the thing. Crossbows, kind of a similar deal, because I really didn't want a situation where we were going to go into a siege and then have almost instantaneous enemy deaths. And that's, I think, probably what would happen if we had crossbows with our people, because they would just be able to shoot them from such a far distance away, and they would basically be good from any range at all. And that's obviously what I was attempting to try and avoid here, because that basically means that their low athletic skill doesn't really hinder them that much. That's the only reason why I decided not to go for a crossbow. Otherwise, it would have been a perfect choice, and I agree with you there. It really would have been a perfect choice. But personally, for me, I feel like thrown weapons, because they have, I mean, there's just so few of them. I mean, literally, I have, how many of them on me specifically? I think my guys are using 10. 10 maximum, and obviously in most quivers for bolts and things like that, you're going to be seeing, well, quite a bit more than that. Probably like, what, 25, 30 bolts in each quiver. And so, yeah, it's basically providing them a way to counter their main weakness, which is obviously the slowness of their movement speed. So all things considered, I'm going to stick with the thrown weapons for now, but if we see that they're just way too strong, I might decide to remove one set of the thrown weapons from my forces, because obviously I can do that anytime. I can, you know, change my unit's equipment anytime we like, and generally I think that might be one of the better things that we can do, because rather than changing the weapon type that we're using, we can change how many of that weapon type we are using. So in other words, you know, instead of having an insane amount of thrown weapons that we can just bombard the opponent with, because let's face it, yeah, I agree with you, thrown weapons are very strong. However, I felt like, you know, the limited amount that our forces are going to have, that might counterbalance their power. And so I was hopeful that that would be the case. But as I say, if it turns out that it is way too strong, then I'll remove one set and then we'll see where it goes from there. Oh, we got some forest bandits. Okay, so now this is actually gonna be kind of an interesting fight, because we haven't really fought bandits that have horses that often. And yeah, I also leveled up a whole bunch. As you can quite clearly see here, I do have a number of perks to take. And I actually very specifically did not spend any of these before starting the recording, because I wanted you to see this as well. So here's the thing. Every single perk that gives me survivability or gives my troops survivability, that is what I will be taking. I will not care at all about damage. Damage is nothing to me right now. All I want is survivability and toughness. And as a result, trainer is what I'm going to take. I mean, obviously that makes sense, right? And let's have a look. What else do we want to go for here? It does not matter. That basically just gives us damage, but yeah, there you go. And we've got knockoff here and running throw. So your throwing weapons gain 25% additional speed from your movement, and troops under your command have plus 30 throwing skill. In my opinion, that's absolutely insane. Plus 30 throwing skill. Gonna be taking that. Crossbows. Well, obviously, if we do end up using crossbows, it's probably gonna be kind of nice to have something like this. So let's just aim with our crossbow 25% faster, I guess. And then we do have some charm skill as well. Influence gain from battles increased by 30%, in my opinion, is absolutely wonderful. And this is actually something that I have never taken, or I think I've taken it once before in one very specific series, and it was a long time ago, where I took preventive medicine. I'm going to be taking it this time because it does increase my character's hit points, but in my opinion, this is better. I personally think that self-medication is better by a very slim margin, but nevertheless, I'm going to be taking the hit points increase. And then we have steward skill here as well. I'm actually going to be taking Spartans. We don't have any morale loss from one singular type of food, even though I am obviously not going to be having one type of food for the rest of the series. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Anyway, let me see what else I could do here. Do I want charm skill? Do I want steward skill? I actually kind of want a little bit of steward skill. There we go. And let's head on in. Alright, so I should probably also clear up a little bit of what I said in the previous episode as well, because I think there was a little bit of confusion, probably because I explained it incorrectly, but generally what I was saying is with the charge only option, which was basically me saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to charge at every single thing ever. That was basically me saying, okay, yeah, if I fight bandits, I'm probably just going to charge. Because in the grand scheme of things, they are probably not going to require an absolutely huge amount of tactics or strategy to be able to defeat. And it also would make things a little bit more difficult for us, potentially, if the bandits get some lucky hits or something along those lines. But generally, I'm not going to be charging only against vassals. I think I did say something like that, but maybe I just conveyed it incorrectly. But yeah, anyway, as I say, I'm not going to be charging against vassals all the time. I might charge against vassals sometimes, dependent on if I feel like I'm going to easily achieve victory or not. But for me personally, I feel like the one thing that we would need to do at this point in time is basically just hold position and allow the enemy forces to just run themselves into us. And that is probably the reason why I might end up changing the thrown weapons to only have one stack, because you can see how many thrown weapons my army has down in the bottom left, because obviously I do have that wonderful mod that someone recommended to me a while ago, where it basically just gives you the amount of ranged ammunition that your forces have, and in my opinion it's absolutely fantastic to be able to see that. But here's the thing, imagine 500, I think it's about 550 that we have probably, and then some of our allies are also counting their arrows or something like that, I actually don't know. But whatever the case, I think if we were to halve that, because obviously if most people are using 10 thrown weapons right now, then if we halve that down to 5 each, then our ranged capability is going to very dramatically decrease. So that actually makes maybe a little bit of sense, because as it stands right now, I wanted them to have a ranged option of some kind, because obviously if I leave them without any kind of ranged option, it's gonna, well, it's gonna be a pretty stagnant series in general, because it's basically just gonna be me waiting for the opponent to walk into us, or me walking into the opponent. And we are, we are quite literally walking into them at some points. But yes, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's the reason why I decided to give them thrown weapons, because I felt like it was a decent balance between having ranged but also not having ranged, because it's very, very quick for them to just fire these things off and then not have them anymore. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, otherwise, I'm actually going to be continuing to sell all the loot that I get. I'm going to be selling every single thing, weapons and everything, so that we can earn as much money as possible. Wait a minute. Where's the... there we go. There he is. Okay, I don't even know how many stops I need to make. But hopefully I can find that out in just a... we've got... Okay, we just got one more. We just got one more. Okay, fantastic. So that means that once we have completed this task, I will be fighting against the first... And here's a bit of a challenge for me. I'm gonna... okay, I'm gonna make a bit of a stipulation in this regard as well. I'm actually just gonna be going in against these guys because they're basically just looters. But here's a bit of a stipulation. When we have first entered Crusade territory, I will attack the first vassal I see if they are not a part of an army. Okay? So if they're not in an army and they don't have, I don't know, 1,000 combat strength or something like that, then I will attack them. But if they don't, and if they're by themselves, yeah, then I will do that. If they are in an army, then I won't attack them. That's what I mean. Okay, so let's have a look. Increase heal rate. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That sounds pretty good to me. And I'm gonna increase my vigor once again, and we should increase my steward skill as well. There we are. Okay, yeah. So, do you want to fight? Do these raiders want to fight? I wouldn't actually mind. I wouldn't mind that at all. We do have a number of low-tier units still, but we do have quite a few that have already leveled up to max level, which is actually really nice. And I'm a little bit worried, to be honest. Ooh, okay, here we go. Yeah, this is basically it now. Okay, so before we go into Crusade territory, it would probably be a good idea for me to get a little bit of food. So I'm gonna buy 3 lots of all of this food here. That will hopefully get me a decent, shall we say, a decent stockpile. And it would also make it so that my steward skill is going to be doing something, or at least I hope so. Maybe a little bit here and there. But yeah. So, as I said, first vassal we see. When we enter Crusade territory, they are going to be our first victim or the first person that we are going to die against. Either way, okay. So, we're not in Crusade territory yet, so let's just see what happens. This is going to be very interesting. I'm very intrigued, actually, as to what is going to happen here, because generally I'm not looking forward to fighting the Crusade. I really do not like fighting them at all, and at the best of times, this is going to be very difficult. Okay, let me see. I'm going to kind of take Drill Sergeant here, because here's the thing. Obviously, because they have horse archers, and they are generally known as being one of the best cavalry-focused forces in the world. Okay, this guy's in an army, I'm pretty sure. This guy seems to be in an army. Or he's just insanely powerful. Can I really fight this guy? It's highly unlikely, right? Wait a minute. Okay, one thing I need to find out. Kara Crusade. Okay, let me... Because I really don't want to... Oh, actually, we might actually be able to win this. I think he's a part of an army, personally. I don't think he has 287 by himself. So I'm going to disqualify him for the moment. I think I could probably beat him. I could beat him, but I'm kind of worried about the fact that he is in an army. He might be in an army or not. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever the case. Okay, let's just look out for another one. I might be getting away scot-free here, because I thought to myself, yes, look at that fellow, the strongest vassal that we could have possibly come against here. Yes. Okay, well, if that indeed was the case, and and he is literally just by himself, which I think it's unlikely for him to have 287 combat strength by himself. I think that's very unlikely, but who knows? Maybe... Ah, there we go. There is someone not in an army, and actually someone that we might be able to achieve victory against, crazily enough. Okay, yeah, so this is making it much, much easier than I actually wanted. I wanted to fight a vassal that was at about 100 or so units to give ourselves a real good challenge. But on the other side of things, I kind of also want to see how my forces do against someone that is on a relatively similar level. So let's see what happens here, and here we go. All right. Oh, we're actually fighting in the village. Well, yeah, that's obviously not something that I wanted to do, but if it dismounts him, that might be really good, but I doubt he's going to be dismounted from this. All right. Let's put them in a loose formation. I know. I should probably put them in a shield wall formation, but I'm going to put them in a loose formation for the moment so that they can utilize their thrown weapons just that much better. Once they have thrown their thrown weapons, obviously we have the arrow count, or the thrown weapon count in our case, down in the bottom left there. So once they have used all of their thrown weapons, that is when we will go into a shield wall formation and we will slowly move towards the enemy. That is the tactic that I'm primarily going to use for the most part, unless we obviously get something very significantly different in terms of some kind of information that we are provided with, you know, that says, oh, these guys are super easy or something. But I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go against these fellows, because they are Khuzait after all, and I am not a big fan of them in the least. I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? I really enjoy playing as the Khuzait, but I really do not like fighting them, let's just say that. Okay, so we're going to put them into a shield wall formation now, because the enemy's infantry is coming closer to us. Okay, here we go. Now let's slowly move towards the opponent. I'm also going to be staying in the shield wall too. Are they going to be doing a skirmish here? Are they going to skirmish with us? That would be kind of interesting. Okay, here we go. My weapon is terrible. How many hits do I have to do to kill one archer? I have no idea. We're going to charge them now so that we can actually get some kills going on. I really need to get a mace, don't I? Yeah, I really badly need to get a mace, because maces tend to ignore armor for the most part. And yeah, that was so pitiful. That was a pathetic display if ever I saw one. Yes, indeed. Okay, yeah, so now we can actually change them to a loose formation once again, so that their thrown weapons can hopefully do a little bit more. And it feels to me like this is very doable, but bear in mind, this is a small vassal. You see, this is a small vassal with very few cavalry units in comparison to what we would have fought against that other guy, so I think it was a good idea to have a bit of a yardstick, to have like a, you know, kind of like a, shall we say, trial run, and see how it goes. And it seems to me like it's going to be one of these it's going to be one of these situations where we always have some random cavalry running around preventing us from achieving victory. But there you go. We actually ended up losing 0 units. Yeah. 0. I am very surprised by this, I gotta say. I'm actually very surprised by this. I thought to myself, I'm going to definitely lose at least 10 units here. But no. I didn't. We were able to plunder some gold from him, as you can see right there, and I'm also going to be taking him prisoner. Of course, we're going to be taking him prisoner. Of course. I mean, why wouldn't I, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take all of his people prisoner as well, and then, and this is obviously the stipulation that I introduced at the very beginning of the series, I'm going to be executing him. That's it. That's what we're going to be doing, because obviously we've already declared war against the Khuzait, and here's the execution. Boom, there you go. And I have enabled the Loot Lord mod, so we have just gained some shoulders, which is actually quite nice, I think. Let me actually just see whether that was indeed the case, whether that has actually been added properly. I don't see the shoulders, but maybe... Oh, no, the shoulders are actually worse than what I have. That is actually hilarious. Okay, well, whatever the case, that is fine. Let me see what I can do now. Where do I even go now? I'm kind of a bit worried, you know. I'm in a bit of like sort of confused state right now because I'm thinking to myself, okay, where do I go now? Where do I go to not get absolutely murdered? I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look here. Reduce food consumption. Siege engines built 20% faster. I think we're going to reduce food consumption because we're going to be in enemy territory for quite some time, or at least I think so, maybe. I mean, we'll see. But I would like to go over to Cyronea. That is the... Ah, hello there. Oh, this is a... you know what? You know what? I'm actually going to go in here. Oh, this guy wants to fight too. This guy wants to fight this guy. Okay, we're just going to gang up on him then, I guess. We're just going to gang up on this guy. And this gives me really, really good opportunities here, because this gives me the possibility of being able to capture him and indeed to execute him. Obviously, this is not really what I wanted to do. Generally, I wanted to do this by myself. I would have probably welcomed the challenge, but you got to take the opportunities where they arise. And in this case, I mean, it's probably a good idea for us to just sit back, let this guy do most of the work, and then we'll just, you know, get some of the benefit from it. I mean, he's probably... Wow, they really spawned very far away, probably because we are... there's a very heavy cavalry presence in this particular battle, but yeah, they're making things very difficult for us right now. Okay, here are my forces. They haven't killed anyone, really. They've killed 3 units. Okay. I guess we might actually still be able to do some stuff. Okay, my forces are all the way back there. They are so slow. They are so slow. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, oh, hello there, sir. Don't worry about me, sir. I am just a regular soldier. I am no one in particular. You can safely ignore me, fellow. And it seems like, yeah, I don't even need to help. I mean, really, I don't even need to help. My forces have not gotten any kills whatsoever. And I think it's probably going to remain that way, because the guy that we're actually allying ourselves with at the moment, he literally has so many cavalry, it's just absolutely impossible to assume that he even needs assistance at this point. Yeah, we got 1 kill, and look at the amount of morale I got. I literally just got 1 morale because the enemy... Wow, he actually took him prisoner as well. You know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to say, hello there, sir. Can I trade you? No. He's not going to let me trade him. Okay, so this guy is very dangerous. That guy is very, very dangerous. He's not a part of an army either, by the way. So that indeed was true before, where we went by this guy, and he has so much combat strength. I have no idea how he has so much combat strength with such a small army. But I suppose it is because he has so many cavalry units. That is probably the reason, right? That must be the reason. Otherwise, I have no idea. Anyway, let's ransom all our prisoners. We're going to get a little bit of roguery skill here and there. And we can also sell all of our gear. And there's another 4,000 for us right there. Another 5,000. There we go. Okay, great. And we can also... Oh, we leveled up our clan tier. Okay, fantastic. That's really nice. Yeah, someone actually also asked the question, how am I going to recruit units if everyone hates us? Okay, so now here's the thing. Obviously, because I've already executed someone, most lords are not really going to like us that much. But if we continue to kill looters in and around the area, you know, of various villages and towns and things like that, the relation increase, as you can see right here from Chaos's tweaks, that is going to offset any potential negative relation from executions. Obviously, I'm not too sure whether merchants and notables and villagers and things like that, I'm not sure whether they really care whether their lords are being executed or not. The only thing I think they care about is if caravans are raided or villagers are plundered, potentially. So that's the main thing that we kind of have to watch out for there, pretty much more than anything else. So I don't think it should be that much of a difficulty, but if it is a difficulty, then I'm just going to have to go off and fight a bunch of bandits, I guess. A bunch of bandits in the area, and just try to gain relation that way. Because, for example, you can see this guy, he doesn't like me, but he only has -1. So it's going to be pretty simple for me to get on his good side if I just do like a really, really simple task for him, or just eliminate some bandits in the area or something like that. Then hopefully the relation will go to him, and that's what I'm talking about. So it should be not too bad, but obviously that is very much under the assumption that, you know, I'm going to be able to, you know, not have everyone be at war against us, because obviously if you are at war against people, you need a pretty decent positive relation with some villagers to actually be able to recruit from there still. At least that's what I've encountered a number of times. So maybe that's the case, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be a lot of fun to find out whether we actually can still recruit people or not. And, you know, really wish I did have like a village farm somewhere, or shall we say a troop recruiting farm. There used to be a concept back in Warband where you would basically do tasks over and over again for 1 or 2 particular villages, and you would just create an entire troop farm there. And every single day, or every single 2 days, or however many times you could recruit from them, there would be such good units, or so many units to be able to recruit there, that you could recruit, I don't know, 20 to 30 units every single time you went to that village. And that concept has kind of been worked on, I guess, a little bit, because you do have the opportunity to earn relation with villages, and then, you know, it unlocks additional units for you to be able to recruit, but on a much lesser scale, because obviously back in Warband you could recruit 20 to 30 units if you were lucky enough, or high tier units in actual fact. But here you have a maximum of 21, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think it is about 21, something like that, because you can see here. No, actually not 21. Actually 18 by the looks of things, yeah. Dependent on the amount of notables as well, because obviously if there's only 1 notable or 2 notables, then it's just going to be 12. But if there's 3, then obviously 18 is pretty good. But yeah, that's obviously very much dependent on your relation with those people. So yeah, but anyway, you don't care about any of that. That's all min-max, Garbo, isn't it? Yes, that's all min-max that you don't really need to know about right now. But yeah, whatever the case, we're just going to continue trying to recruit units right now, because obviously if I have a larger army and I'm able to recruit and indeed level up, upgrade, and all that wonderful stuff, various amounts of units at once, it's just going to be so much better. We're going to be able to tackle much more difficult vassals, and generally I feel like it's not going too badly. Once I have gone through the Cyrenea area, I'm going to be heading back into Khuzait territory, and once again we're going to do the same thing, where we attack the first Khuzait vassal that we see. And it doesn't matter who they are, or their army strength, or anything like that. As long as they are part of the Khuzait, we will attack them. Alright, so Monchug's army is actually attempting to take Korinia Castle right now, so obviously I'm not going to be able to attack him, because he obviously is part of an army. And later on in the series, no doubt I'll probably be attempting to do those kinds of things, where we do try to take on extremely large armies and everything, because I think that generally is kind of what we are all about in this series, you know, just massive odds against us. Ah, hello there! Okay, this is actually a pretty decent shot for us. I think we might be able to do something here. Alright, so let me actually just take a quick look at what I have here. I've leveled up my steward skill by a massive margin. Let's have a look. Companion wages. Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is really nice. I think I'm going to be... Yeah, I'm going to be taking Paid in Promise, because this is really good for power leveling your units up. So, for example, you can see here, discarded armor can be donated to troops for increased experience. So when we are absolutely swimming in cash, we can use this perk to power level units that we have just recently recruited. So that's what I'm going to take. What else do we have here? Oh, we actually have the secondary one, which is discarded weapons can be donated to troops for increased experience as well. So I'm probably going to be taking that. Yep, that seems pretty good to me. And we're going to be increasing our steward skill once again, increasing our intelligence once again. We already have 10 in control, 10 in vigor. I actually need to increase my endurance. Actually, what does endurance even do? Does this actually increase my health? I know there is a mod out there that is a bit of a different slant on the HP per level mod, so it's a different one that provides HP, but it also scales off endurance, not for your own units, but for you and companions. So if you have a high endurance, it does provide you with additional HP. But for me specifically, I'm actually not entirely sure whether it's going to really do anything for me right now. I think I'm probably just going to leave it at 3. But if it does increase my my HP, then by all means let me know. I would be quite interested to see whether it does. I would assume it does, but perhaps not. Maybe it is just for leveling speed and things like that. But anyway, we are going to be fighting Anat here. I think we should be fine. She doesn't seem to have anything too high tier, but you never know. You know, sometimes these vassals can be very surprising. And she is very far away as well, which is obviously not exactly what we want. So, oh wow, that's really bad. Let's tell my forces to hold position here. I'm just going to put my shield up. Try not to get absolutely murdered. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. Okay, so once again, standard formation. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to go into shield war straight away right now because the enemy's infantry is coming in. This is Anat herself, I believe. She's actually coming real close. Way, way, way too close in my opinion. Let's tell my forces to charge in as well. See if I can maybe get some kills with my thrown weapons too. I always love using thrown weapons. Have a great deal of fun with them. And it seems like my forces are absolutely murdering every single one of these recruits because they are basically just recruits. You can see that. Khuzait footmen, they really have nothing on us. If they literally are not on a mount, then you kind of already know that that is a very low tier Khuzait unit. There's not much they can do about that. They really need to be on a mount to actually be good. So if you see one that isn't on a mount, then, well, you know what's up with them. Anyway, let's just get back into formation here. We're going to go into a loose formation, get back into actual formation, and solidify our positioning here. And hopefully my thrown weapons, because we still have a pretty significant amount of them, hopefully the thrown weapons will be able to finish up the remaining portion of the cavalry force. Nice hit. Oh, actually hit him, but he survived. He survived. That was 139 damage, and he survived it. Crazy. That's why I absolutely love the survivability of adding these various other mods to the game, because I feel like someone just getting taken out by one hit, I mean, while that might be realistic in some aspects, it's maybe not that fun, you know? Maybe it's not that fun. I kind of like it when we have a bunch of arrows sticking in us, for example. I think that's a lot of fun to just see what kind of thing can happen with the various damage modeling that you're going to be getting. Anyway, seems like my forces are perfectly fine. I don't know where the enemy is, but apparently it doesn't matter because we have achieved victory. Very nice indeed. How many did we lose? We lost 0. Okay. Yeah, by the way, I do have army and player damage on maximum. Alright? Because obviously I didn't show you the difficulty settings in this series, but you can just assume that it's basically the same thing as what I have used in many other series to date. So yeah, basically all the damage modifiers and everything are all on maximum, so this is very surprising to me, but I guess it shouldn't be because we are so incredibly defensive. We really shouldn't be taking that many casualties at all. I'm going to be taking her prisoner once again. We have so many level ups as well, super nice to see that. And we also have a lot of loot, a nice new shield for me, even though this shield is, in my opinion, one of the worst ones. I really do not like these shields. They are way too small, in my opinion. I feel like we need a I don't know. I feel like we need like a heavy round shield or something along those lines, because at the moment this is just a round step shield, which is kind of like a thing a horse rider would use. So yeah, I do need to get a better shield. So I'm probably going to go into Sturgian territory for that. But yeah, anyway, let's make our way back down to Cyrenea, because obviously... Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, let us execute once again. And look at that, we got all of her stuff this time. Nice. We got all of her stuff. Well, apart from her shield. I'm not sure whether she even has a shield, to be honest. So, yeah, that might not even be up for grabs, so to speak. But, yeah, anyway. Let's see what we have. Yeah, we've got some good upgrades. We've got some good upgrades right there. So we have shoulders. And we got some gloves. And I actually got a new weapon. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, fantastic. Very nice. It's been a while since we've gotten a new weapon, I guess. I'm actually not entirely sure what I was even using, to be honest, but yeah. Anyway, I'm actually not going to go to Cyrenea. I think I might go to Onira, because Cyrenea is a little bit too close to Korinia Castle, and I don't really want to risk getting into a battle with Monchug, because he does have a very large army. And at this point, I think I might be able to give him a good run for his money, but I highly doubt I would be able to achieve victory. So we do need to be a bit, you know, just a little bit careful in that regard. Okay, so I'm going to be selling everything that I can. Cracked large round shield. See, now, here's the thing. Why does auto-equip... Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. I was going to say, why does auto-equip think that this shield is better than that one? Well, apparently it's not, because this shield obviously is much better. Okay, yeah, so I am thinking I might actually spend a little bit of money and buy a better shield. But the problem is, I need a shield that is a decent size, and the large round shields like this, look at how crazy large this is. This is really, really nice. Is so much better than, for example, a steel round shield. The steel round shield is a very small shield. Even though it says it's part of the large shield class, it really is much smaller. Like, for example, if I equip this, you could see, look at that. Look at how much surface area it gives up. Just for durability's sake. In my opinion, it's not worth it. I do not like that one bit. So I'm going to have to go to Sturgian territory, I think, to be able to get something like that. That's probably going to be my only option. Get something relatively similar to like a Huskarl's round shield or something like that from Warband, because generally that was always considered one of the best shields you could get. And we're just going to buy a little bit more food, and I'm going to stop off at a couple of villages around here as well. So it seems like our first foray into Khuzait territory has actually gone remarkably well, and I would like to see just how far we can take this, because obviously if we eliminate, and now here's the thing, if we eliminate the entirety of the Khuzait, and I'm talking about all of their vassals, then all of their territory is up for grabs, right? Well, what happens when we execute every single person in one faction? Well, that's what I want to find out. Hopefully you'll stick around to find out too. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.